Hey, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Revive FM on. You're listening to Revive FM on 94.0 FM. Call into the studio 0333 444 0940. You're listening to Mubashar Latif on the Mindset Show every Wednesday, 7 till 8. Inshallah, started last week. We're all on Revive FM. It's all on Facebook, YouTube, MixLR, TuneIn, and revivefm.co.uk. So no excuse for you not to listen to the show and tag your friends into the show, inshallah. So Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, and my dear fellow listeners, community, in the community around wherever you're listening. You're on the way home from work, you've finished work, you're at home, you're doing some shopping, you're wherever you are, and if you're listening to this show, driving home, hope you've had a fantastic day coming to an end. Many of you are fasting. Those that are fasting, inshallah, another hour and a half to go, so not long to go, hey? On the Mindset Show, we started the Mindset Show last week. On the Mindset Show today, we are going to be continuing what we had discussed, and we're going further into. Last week we discussed what actually is mindset. So what is mindset? What does mindset mean? Just to recap for those that weren't listening, there are two sets of mindset. There's a growth mindset and there's a fixed mindset. Now, majority of us are in the fixed mindset. We tend to stay where we are. We tend to want something else. We tend to see that the grass is greener on the other side, but at the same time, is it so green where we're sitting? And what's stopping us from going forward? We're constantly in those patterns, in that cycle. It's all about the dialogue, the inner dialogue that we say to each other. What are we saying to ourselves on a day-to-day basis? What are we doing on a day-to-day basis? What are we actually after? What are we, are we just subconsciously just going through the motions? Is it more just a case of we're just robotic, going through the patterns, day in, day out? You get up, you do your routine, you go to work, you have your day, you have your laughs and jokes, you come back home, and then you go do whatever you do in the evening, have your dinner, so forth, and then eventually go to sleep, wake up next day. And it's just like the rat race, constantly in that cycle. One day you will get out of that cycle, is what we will do. One day I will find a way out. One day things will get better. Until something else happens in life. And something else happens. And then something else happens. And you tend to put yourself on the back burner. I will deal with that later. But today, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, today we will be focusing on why are you keeping that mindset that you're keeping? Why are you staying in there? We will look at some things that hold people in that constant fixed mindset. So if you're wanting to call in and you're currently in that stage, or you're going through it and you want to discuss of your being, and you want to say a few words of being in that fixed mindset, do call the studio 0333 444 0940, 0333 444 0940. And if you want to come onto the radio, if you want to share a few words, if you want to mention how you are constantly in that mindset, you've been there for several months, years, or decades. Because all of us get through life, and all of us have those good days, bad days, those rubbish days, all of it's sunny days, and then you have the thunderstorm days. But then you have to find a way of dealing with those sunny days. And yes, you might get up and you think, okay, well, tomorrow is going to be a sunny day. Yes, you have that opportunity to get up the next day and make that change. You have an opportunity. Your life will never ever change in that moment. It will never ever change overnight. It will never change in one day or 1 week, or even 1 month. It will take a long process to make that change, but at least you're on that journey to make that change. It's like an example I used last week where, for example, if you always go out one way to the supermarket and you want to go to the department store, then as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and again and expecting a different result. If you always go this way to the supermarket, you will always end up to the supermarket. And if the department store is this way, my dear listeners, you need to go this way to the department store. Whether it's another town, whether it's another city, whether it's another wherever country, even another continent, you need to make ways to get to that department store, whatever it is you need to get to, and get there, and you're en route. So yes, when you stop going to the supermarket and you turn the other way, going towards to the department store, you're en route, you're on that journey, whether it takes a few hours or a few days, or whatever it takes, you're on that journey to get there. And this is what the journey is about in life, where a lot of the time we think, well, actually, what is a point? Or you have a thought, you have a change of thought, you start following action towards that thought, towards that idea, towards that new you, towards that different you, towards your dreams, towards your goals, and then you think, well, actually, I'm the same person as I was yesterday, so what's changed? So what is a point? It's too much effort. And we're more in our comfort zone, and we'd like to be staying in our comfort zone. And the irony is we stay in our comfort zone and we don't want to get into doing something new, changing our habits, changing our thoughts, changing our language patterns, changing our actions, because it's a lot easier and a lot smoother to just stay where you are. But stay in that pain. Keep taking that pain. And we take that pain day in, day out, the pain of emotion, the pain of action, the pain of language, the pain of thought. And the other mindset, which you probably guessed if you weren't listening last week, but those that are listening this week, and the other mindset is a growth mindset. The mindset where naturally you're meant to be going forward, because as a human being, we're not meant to be staying in the same place. It's just like having a sports car out in your drive. That sports car is not meant to sit there in your drive. If you've only brought the sports car to sit there in your drive, you might as well get some posters, you might as well get the model of a sports car and have that to look at and admire all day. That car is being made to get out your drive and to drive it around and to experience the features, experience the speed, and that's what it's about. If a sports car is made to be driven, if the latest smartphone is made to be used and not just sitting there, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite wisdom, when He created us out of nothing and will cause us to come back to the ground, come back to Him 6 foot under one day, my dear listeners, sisters and brothers of other mothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite wisdom created man in a natural state to constantly be growing, constantly be progressing. And it is natural for us to sometimes stop where we are in life, where we find that life is not progressing, life is not going forward. Yet we have this choice every single day, every moment we have this choice. I spoke about moments last week, didn't I, guys? Those of you listening, yes. Imagine there was a company that paid you for every moment, every second of thought, every moment that you had that thought, every moment of every word that you said, of every action that you took. Is there such a company? And the answer is no. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite wisdom rewards us for every moment that we do good. Every moment, especially in this month of Ramadan, that we do good, that we have a good thought, that we repel a bad thought, that we don't take action, follow up action on a bad thought, and instead we do a good thought, getting rewarded for it, my sisters and brothers. Mindset shift. In Ramadan, in last week Ramadan, I spoke about that as soon as Ramadan starts, you have this mindset shift, and it's quite a phenomenal social, if you look at it from an outsider, a social phenomenon where all of a sudden so many billion people, so many millions and millions of people around the world have this shift. As soon as your local masjid or massages, they have announced that it is Ramadan tomorrow, all of a sudden so many hundreds and thousands and millions of people around the world wake up for Sehri, which is about an hour before Fajr, start of Fajr time, or half an hour before Fajr time. And Fajr time, for those who may not know, is our first prayer of the day of the 5, which is starting at dawn, before the crack of dawn. As they say, as the scholars say, when the thread appears, the white thread appears in the night sky. This is the start of Fajr time. And how is it this social phenomenon, if you look at it from an outsider point of view, that all of a sudden they are waking up, they are eating, and then they are going back to sleep, and then they are staying hungry for 17, 18 hours or more in other countries, and they're staying hungry for this many hours. No food, no drink, no water, no nothing. Nothing of nourishment, not a single drop, not a single bite. They could go in a quiet room, they could go in the toilets, they could go in behind the bushes, they could go in behind the bike shed, they could go anywhere, whether you're at school, college, university, work, home, wherever. If you're at home, if you're a mother, bless you all in the amazing work that you do. If you're a mother and you're at home and kids are going to school, the other half is at work and no one else is at home, you can be eating. No one will know, yet we do not do it. And in Islam we call this mindset shift taqwa. Pious God consciousness of that God is watching, God is listening. And we have this mindset shift which shows, yet at the same time there are some people who do not do this. There are some people who do not do this, who are Muslim and they have no valid reason. So unless you are ill, you are traveling, you are a child, or you are elderly, or you're expectant, you're a mother who's expectant, or so forth, they don't have any valid reason and they do not fast. They do not fast, and we can only pray, we can only invite them to good, invite them to action, invite them to these good actions, and be reminders that it's beneficial that they do fast, inshallah. But at the same time, those that even do not fast, even for them, it's a mindset shift, it's a choice. Every single individual, so now bring to our awareness that every single individual on a day-to-day basis, in every Muslim in Ramadan has a choice. Do I fast? Do I not fast? Shall I fast? Shall I not fast? Majority, yes, every single Muslim will fast, those who can. Some may not fast. And regardless of whoever you are, the point here is, my sisters and brothers, you have a choice to fast or not fast. You have a choice to get up and eat or not eat. You have a choice to eat at iftar or not eat. You have a choice to go for the evening prayer, which is like an hour and a half, or not. You have a choice to be hungry of food, water, drink, and to fulfilling your physical desires in those 17, 18 hours or not for a month. And if we have that choice in Ramadan, then what is to say that we don't have that choice out of Ramadan? And when we have that choice out of Ramadan, I'm not saying fast every day for the rest of the year. When we have that choice outside Ramadan as well, to know that you have that choice outside Ramadan and you have a choice every day, my dear listeners, you have that choice. Now where else can we apply that choice? If you want to phone in, the number's 0333 444 0940. Do call in and share what mindset means to you. What does mindset mean to you? What impact is mindset having to you on your day-to-day life? Are you happy? Are you content with your mindset in every area of your life? Or a certain area of your life? Are you content with your mindset? And the other mindset was the growth mindset, which I mentioned. The growth mindset allowing you to change and decide and take action, but repeated actions, constant actions, regular basis actions, and taking those actions. And in order to be held responsible and accountable to keep you on track, you do need a coach. You do need a coach, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. You do need a coach for someone who's going to hold you accountable and responsible. Because otherwise, after a few days, it's just going to be exactly like a New Year's resolution, where people are going to say, well, okay, it lasted and I couldn't keep it any longer. It was just a New Year's resolution. And then the next year you have the same New Year's resolution. But this is what we'll discuss in our later shows. And if you need to contact me, if you want to PM me, I'm on Facebook, Mubashar Latif. Please do contact me. And if you've got any queries, if you're looking to change your mindset, then I'd be looking to discuss that with you and see how we can move forward, inshallah. But what keeps you in that mindset? What keeps you in that fixed mindset is a question today. What is keeping you in that mindset is your choice. Are your actions, is the language that you say to yourself and you allow others to say to you. And that's what's keeping you in that mindset. And more than what your actions, before you do actions, is your language. And before you do your language, is your inner thoughts, your inner language patterns, your inner voice, your inner dialogue. And that's what you want to look at, is what's holding you back. And that's what it comes to, your inner voice. And it's your inner voice, and as a result your language, and as a result your actions. Because it's easy to have that thought, it's easy to have that dialogue with yourself. I want to change, I want to get up, right, that's it, tomorrow I'm going to be this. No, it doesn't work like that. Tomorrow my whole life is going to completely change, I'm going to be like this, and like a Superman. It doesn't work like that, dear listeners. You can't just snap your fingers and be at a destination be at a starting point and just get to your destination. You can't. It just doesn't happen. You're travelling on the London Underground, or you're going on a plane journey. You don't just snap your fingers and you're there. You've got to take that journey. You're going on a car journey. You're going on a train journey. You've got to go through those delays. You've got to go through that rush hour every day. You've got to go through the traffic jams. Because this is part of the parcel. It's part of the struggle. This is your struggle. This is your journey. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his infinite wisdom is putting you through that journey for a reason. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, and we will not place a burden on you greater than you can bear. I mentioned it last week. Surah Al-Rad, Surah number 13, ayah number 11. So if you are going through troubles, if you are going through turmoil, if you are going through a load of crap, a load of rubbish, and you think the toughest times in your life that you're going through right now, as Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Because nothing is forever, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. Nothing is forever. Nothing will be there. It's never ever going to always be sunny. It's never ever always going to be raining. It's never ever always going to be snowing. It's never ever always going to be good, happy times. That's why a holiday is a holiday, because it's a time out. You go back, you go to your holiday, you get refreshed, and you go back to your normal life, your normal routine, whatever your normal routine is, whether you're in a fixed routine, fixed mindset routine, or in a growth mindset routine, whatever your day-to-day struggles are, whatever your issues are, everyone has those. Yeah. Being in that state, you can be in that state for many, many years, and it takes a very long time. It can take a very long time for you to realize that I need to actually get up and do something about this. I need to find someone who can help me. My time is limited. I don't know how many more years I've got left on this on the planet. So if you're looking for a coach, as a trainer, a coach or trainer of NLP and hypnosis, get in touch and we can talk. So what is holding you in your fixed mindset? It is those inner voices. It's all about what you say to yourself, and that stems from what things were from as a childhood. Because every individual, which I will discuss later in my shows as well, every individual, my dear sisters and brothers and other mothers, just to remind you, listen to Revive FM 94.0 FM. Call us on the show 0333 444 0940. We're all over Facebook Live, YouTube, MixLR, TuneIn, and live online on the website revivefm.co.uk. And every individual experiences five major negative emotions: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt before the age of 7. That's right, you heard it, before the age of 7. So if you've got your children, look at your children, or your niece, or your nephews, or your friends' kids. Everyone has seen kids that age, or had experience of being around kids that age in some form or another. Whether you're a teacher at school, whatever you are, every individual has experienced those 5 major negative emotions. And not just those 5 major negative emotions, you also have negative beliefs. Negative beliefs. What are negative beliefs? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not capable. I can't do this. I'm not able to do this anymore. You can, and this is what you say to yourself as a child, when you were as a child, and you maybe had forgotten, but then later when you got as an adult, then you slow down and you stop and you're like, whoa, slow down. You phase back to as a child in a similar situation. As a child you fell over, you hurt yourself, and they laughed at you. As a grown-up, you fall over in work when you make mistakes, and they laugh at you. As a child, when you fell over, or you did something naughty, you broke something, they laughed at you, they told you off. As a grown-up, in your workplace or in your family, you do something, you've broken the rules. In your workplace, you've broken the rules. You've done something you shouldn't have. Knowingly, you're in trouble. Or you made a small mistake, or whatever, and now you've got that fear, it's kicked in again. Your colleagues, your seniors, your manager, someone's going to laugh at you. Any moment now, before you get back to your desk, you've made that mistake, before you get back to your desk, an email has gone around to the whole department, the whole team. Because you're holding on to that emotional baggage and those negative beliefs about yourself. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I can't make money, I can't have good health, I can't improve my health, I don't have time for my health, and X, Y, Z, etc., etc. And these negative beliefs reflect in all areas of your life, be it physical, be it mental, be it spiritual, be it family, be it in your home, be it in your health, in your finance, whatever you want to look at, whatever area, everyone has this. And it comes to the next point, fear. There are different kinds of fear. And even as grown-ups, and I'm not talking about fear today, my sisters and brothers of other mothers, sisters and brothers of other mothers. The fear I'm talking about today is not the fear. It is not the fear of being in a theme park on a roller coaster ride. It is not the fear of watching a scary film. It is not the fear of a little bit of blood coming out if you cut your finger. My dear listeners, the fear I'm talking about today is the fear that we keep ourselves in. The 4 walls that keep you safe are the same 4 walls that hold you prisoner. Listen to that, my sisters and brothers of other mothers, and take that in. Allow that to absorb. The 4 walls that keep you in, that protect you, are ironically the same 4 walls that keep you prisoner. What does that mean? You're in your comfort zone, the normal settings, your house, the people, your work, everything's normal, you're in the normal patterns. Those normal patterns that you're in, the day-to-day patterns, they are the 4 walls that protect you. I need to keep going in this pattern, I need to keep going in this job. Even though I hate it, I need to keep it to keep at my bills. By the way, if you're working, it's fantastic. I'm not saying here that leave your work tonight or tomorrow morning. No. You've got to pay your bills, it's important. But maybe there's a way of paying your bills and your expenses and enjoying the process as well. Could that be an option? What if that was an option? And if it was, who else do you know who's doing that? Who else do you know who's paying their bills and their expenses and having extra money on the side? And they're enjoying the process. Difference between fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And you have that fear. You hold on to that fear that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I can't progress any further, I can't do anything more. This is all I can do. And this is where I'm going. This is all I know, this is all I've ever done, and that's it. I can only do X, Y, Z. And it's a fear that keeps you in, and the day-to-day comfort and the cush, and you're settled, and it's fine. You're comfortable in that setting, and that's the 4 walls that protect you, and at the same time, that's the 4 walls that imprison you, because they don't allow you to grow. And it all comes from the mindset shift. This is what I mentioned last week. Excuse me. The mindset shift. But before having that mindset shift, before making that mindset shift, my dear listeners, you need to realize that you need to make that shift, or actually being aware of that mindset, aware of the mindset that you are in, because a lot of us are in that pattern day in, day out, and we're in there passively. We don't even know that, we're in this, or we don't even want to change, or we sometimes resent being in that pattern, but at the same time, we're not looking for something else to change, or we're not even trying to change. Remember last week, those who listened last week, I mentioned about passive smokers. Interesting fact about passive smokers, who are 27% more likely to get cancer than actual smokers themselves. Wow. but I still want to start smoking. And using that analogy, using that that figure in the mindset shift, if you remain passive or in a fixed mindset, then you're more likely to get hurt and go through pains and issues than you are if you've tried things and fallen 100 times. Look at all of these entrepreneurs. Richard Branson, I mean, how many ventures has he done? He's started several companies. Go read up about him. Look at him on YouTube, on Google. He's started several companies. Many have failed. Has he stopped? No. He started, if anyone recalls, I think it was last year. He was testing out launching Virgin trip to space, and during that test, someone died. Did he stop? No. It's unfortunate, and whatever happened, whatever XYZ, so forth. But you know, these entrepreneurs, these successful businessmen, look at Dragon's Den. Anyone, you look at them, anyone who you see successful in any area of life, sports championship, prime minister, president, whoever you want to look at, film star, whatever, sheikh or whoever, anyone you look at, even at the greatest, what we believe is amongst the greatest of creation, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every single successful person has had downfalls. Every single successful person has had failures. Every single successful person has had knockbacks. Every single successful person has had fears. Every single successful person has had negative beliefs. Every single person has had all of them pointing at you and laughing. Every single successful person. But the difference between them and those that remain where they are is that they have a growth mindset. They choose to stay moving forward. They choose to stay in the growth mindset, constantly moving forward, constantly overcoming. So those that are listening, if either yourself or you know someone who needs to move forward from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, please PM me now. Please do call in. We are coming up towards the end of the show. However, if you do want to call in, mention a few words, if there's anything you want to say regarding a mindset, regarding your fears, regarding or briefly how things have turned around or whatever, or it's taken you years to realize something, please do call in. The number is 0333 444 0940, and we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Mixlr, TuneIn, and on online revivefm.co.uk. But if you're having any doubts, if you've constantly got those fears that are holding you back, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve to be fit and healthy, I don't deserve to have money, or even a negative belief like money is haram, money is not allowed, I can't earn wealth. A common negative belief in our Muslim community. Money itself is not haram, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. To acquire lots of wealth is not against Islam. Where is the proof of that? Yusuf alayhi salam was ruling Egypt. Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was very, very wealthy. A lot of the prophets alayhi salam, a lot of the companions radiallahu anhum were very, very wealthy. So where you say wealth is not allowed in Islam, or to acquire a lot of wealth, that's not from Islam. What you do with the wealth, and where people might say limiting belief, again negative belief, that wealth is evil. Money is the root of all evil. How many times have we heard that one? Yet at the same time we all need this. Money is just a reflection of your energy. You show a £50 note to a 2-year-old, no value. The 2-year-old just wants a toy that maybe costs £5. Yet you show a toy to an 18-year-old, no value. He wants a £50. Yeah? So with that, my sisters and brothers of other mothers and my dear fellow listeners, all of those who've been listening today, thank you very much. Jazakallah khair for those who have been listening. If you have any questions, any comments, please post them on the Facebook group. Post them, or you can direct message me as well. This is Revive FM 0333 0940. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on MixLR. Tune in online, revivefm.co.uk. But just focus on how long. And just one more point. You want to focus on how long you want to hold on to that fear. What is the benefit of you holding on to that fear? What is the benefit of you staying in the fixed mindset? Because there might be things, and when you start taking those steps, there might be things that you're going to be doing in the background that a lot of people won't see. Or they might say, yeah, it's all good, you're talking all positive, or you're doing whatever, but there's no change. And you can easily get disheartened by that, and that's why you need the coach to hold you accountable and say, well, actually, you are changing. If the bamboo tree, the bamboo plant in China, it grows, and it takes a few weeks to obviously plant it and everything underground. And it takes 5 years underground before it shoots up. And after 5 years, it shoots up in 90 days. Now the question is, does that bamboo grow in 5 years, or does it grow in 90 days? It's amazing, isn't it? It comes up under from the ground after 5 years. Google it. The bamboo shoot, it takes 5 years underground, and then it shoots up 20 foot in 90 days. So does it grow, how long does it take to grow? 5 years or 90 days? Not 90 days. 90 days is when you see the results. It takes 5 years, my sisters and brothers of other mothers. It takes 5 years to grow. Constantly nourishing it, constantly watering it, constantly feeding it, constantly taking care of it, getting rid of the weed. It takes 5 years to grow. Not 90 days. As an example, results don't happen overnight. Just because everyone's not seeing the results around you, it doesn't mean that you're not changing. It means that you're going forward. It means that something's happening, and there may be work you're doing in the background, there's underground work you're doing, and so forth. But at the end of the day, as long as you're moving forward, as long as you know you're moving forward and you're achieving small day-to-day tasks, as long as you know that you're achieving your day-to-day tasks, and your weekly tasks, your monthly tasks, your annual targets, and you're achieving those, As long as you know you're working and you're going forward, just like the hare and the tortoise. We've all heard that story as a child. Just like the hare and the tortoise. Every single... We've all heard that story as a child. The hare and the tortoise, they both set out for the race. The hare starts running and running and going really fast. The tortoise going slowly and slowly, taking one small step at a time. And the hare gets a bit tired, looks around thinking, the tortoise is nowhere, so let me take some rest under the tree. Takes a rest, takes a little nap, wakes up, only to realise and looks around, where's the tortoise? Not here. He's still far behind, and he runs to the finishing line, only to see that all the animals are celebrating the tortoise winning the race already. It's not about how fast you go, my dear sisters and brothers. It is not about how fast you go. It's about keep going. Life is not a race, it's a marathon. Keep going. Whether you go slowly, whether you go fast, whether you sometimes go fast, whether you slow down, just like when you're driving, you don't always go at 60, 70 miles an hour from the moment you leave your house to the moment you get to your destination. And you don't always go at 20, 30 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour if you're driving on the motorway from the moment you leave your house to when you get to your destination. You start, you slow down, you speed up, you go through curves, you go through turns, you go through stops. You might stop in the traffic jam and you're completely stopped, but you keep going. And it's only when you keep going that you will get those results. So my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, I will be, show is now coming to an end. Jazakallah khair for listening. You'll be listening to Mubashar Latif on Revive FM, 94.0 FM. 94.0 FM, 0333 444 0940 on Facebook, YouTube, MixLR and revivefm.co.uk online. Jazakallah khair, brother. Assalamu alaikum, and have a fantastic iftar, and see you inshallah next week. Assalamu alaikum. أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا ربي صل